The opening of the mouth of the donkey was to bring the prophet back to his right mind. Give me Numbers chapter 22 verse 32. Numbers chapter 22 verse 32. He says, and the angel of the Lord said unto him, wherefore thou hast smitten thee thy ass 3 times, behold, went out to withstand thee, because their way is perverse before me. Verse 33. Alright, and thy ass saw me, and turned for me these 3 times. Unless she had turned for me, surely I have slain and kept her alive. Glory to Jesus. Now, in other words, please write it down. The ass is a picture that God uses things close and circumstances around us to communicate to us. The ass is a picture that God uses things and circumstances around us to communicate to us, especially when we are going in the wrong paths. That God uses things close to us and circumstances around us to communicate to us, especially when we are going in the wrong paths. Also write down, in other words, there will be no one who went the wrong way that can say God didn't tell me. There will be no one that went the wrong way and will say that God didn't tell me. God spoke clearly. Probably he did not just discern the environment. Chapter 24 verse 4. Chapter 24 verse 4. He said, start from verse 22. Verse 2. Please give verse 2. He said, and Balaam lifted up his eyes and saw Israel abiding instead according to their tribes, and the Spirit of God came upon him. Verse 3. Give me next verse 3, please. And he took up his parable and said, Balaam the son of Beor had said, and the man whose eyes are open hath done what said. Now look up. He said, he had said, which heard the words of God, which saw the vision of what? The Almighty. Falling into a trance. To sing what now? Verse 4. Falling into a trance, but having what? His eyes open. So, if you check on that translation, it says, the man that has 20/20 vision, or the man that sees the visions of God with his eyes open. So, give me back again, Numbers chapter 22, verse 23. And the ass saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, and his sword drawn in his hand, and the ass turned aside out of the way and went to the field, and Balaam smote the ass to turn her into the way. Verse 24. And the angel of the Lord stood in the paths of the vineyards, a wall being on this side and one on that side. Verse 25. Oh yeah. And when the ass saw the angel of the Lord, she thrust herself to the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall, and she smote her again. Verse 26. And the angel of the Lord went further and stood in a narrow place where there was no way either to turn from the right hand to left. Verse 27. And when the ass saw the angel of the Lord, she fell down to Balaam. Balaam's anger was kindled, and he smote the ass with a staff. Verse 28. And the Lord opened the mouth of the ass, and she said unto Balaam, what have I done to thee, that thou hast smitten thee these 3 times? Verse 27. And Balaam said to the ass, because thou hast mocked me, I would therefore a sword man, for now I have killed. Verse 20. And I said, man on thy ass, upon which thou hast given since this day, was I ever what to this day? Nay. Verse 31. Oh yeah, fast. And the Lord did what? Pause. But if you read chapter 24, it says, Balaam is the one that sees with his eyes being what? But if you look at the chapter we just read, a donkey actually saw clearer than the prophet. Do you agree with what I just said? A donkey saw clearer than who? And if you look at this scripture, till the Lord opened the eyes of Balaam, Balaam did not see. Do you get what I just said? Do you get what I just said now? Respond to me. Do you get what I just said? The donkey saw clearer than the prophet. But the eyes, Lord opened the eyes of Balaam. Balaam did not what? Balaam did not what now? Okay. 2 Kings chapter 6 verse 17. Let's look at another story based on this. 2 Kings chapter 6 verse 17. 2 Kings 6 verse 17. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee. What should he do? Open his eyes, that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire and battle. Now go to 2 Kings chapter 4 verse 2. Another wonderful story. And when thou art come, verse 2. And Elisha, sorry, I think I made a mistake. Sorry. 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 27, please. 4:27. All right. And when she came to the man of God to the hill, she caught him by the feet. But Gehazi came near to thrust her away. Leave my master. And the man of God said, what should you do? Let her alone. For her soul is, and the Lord hath not. So there were times too Elisha did not see. Do you get what I just said? Respond to me now. So please write this down now. Now the book of Numbers will tell us that something. Please write it down. That every prophet, please write it down, is limited in sight except God opens his eyes further. Please write it down. Every prophet is limited in sight except God opens his eyes further. Now also write this down. Let's tell us something. The best of the sight of a prophet is not the best of God's sight. The best of the sight of a prophet, please write it down, is not the best of God's sight. 2 Kings chapter 6 verse 16. 2 Kings 6 verse 16. He says, and he answered, fear not, for they that be with us. Okay, that's from verse 15. Start from verse 15. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early, the guy just woke up and gone forth. He just came out. He saw armies all around. And noticed the camp around the city with horses and chariots. And the servant said unto him, alas, my master, how shall we what do? Verse 16. And he answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I pray thee open his eyes, that I may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw. And behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire round what? Now, please write it down. This context describes that what we call sights are in levels. Please write it down. What we call sights are in levels. Sights are in levels. Now, I will read it a bit further and explain. And Elisha prayed and said, Lord, I prayed. And when they came down to him, Elisha prayed to the Lord and said, smite these people, I pray thee, with blindness. And he smote them according to the word of Elisha. Verse 19. And Elisha said unto them, this is not the way, neither is it the city. Follow me and I will bring you to the man whom ye seek. But he led them to what? Respond now. But he led them to what? Samaria. All right. Let's analyze this a bit. Let's start from verse 13. He said, and he said, start from verse 10, so you get it. And the king of Israel sent to the place which the man of God told him and warned him of, and saved himself there, not once, nor what? Twice. Verse 11. Therefore the heart of the king of Syria was so troubled for this thing, and he called his what? Servant. And said unto them, will ye not show me which of us is for what? The king of Israel. In other words, anytime you want to capture the king of Israel, let's say it's coming from Shomolu, and the Syrians already know about it, they will send armies to Shomolu. As they are coming, Elisha will have told the king of Israel, go and turn through Adekule, turn through that route. So by the time the armies of Syria get to Shomolu, they are not seeing anybody. Okay. 2 days later, they heard that the king of Israel is coming through Bariga. The king of Syria sent armies to Bariga. As they are coming, Elisha will have told him before he left his house that morning, don't pass Bariga again. They will come and block you there. Go and take Bagada. So by the time they get to Bariga, they are not so the king of Syria to call all his armies. I said, yeah, everybody, let's talk. Which of you is for Israel's king? Everybody says, sir, it is none of us. And one of them said, in what? Israel. Tell the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy what? Bedchamber. In other words, they are saying, sir, even if you say it in your bedroom, Elisha will hear from Israel. Hello, are you guys with me? It's like saying, for example, now, Syria is a country different from Israel. So imagine Ghana. The president of Ghana called all his closest associates, and they came into his bedroom and they say, how can we trick the president of Nigeria? Then as they are saying it, the president, a man of God or a prophet in Nigeria will call the president of Nigeria and said, this is what the president of Ghana is discussing in his bedroom right now. Are you people with me? Elisha's hearing was that sharp, and his sin was that sharp. Glory to Jesus. He says, and one of his servants said, none, my Lord. Okay, but Elisha the prophet that is in Israel, tell the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber, verse 13. And he said, go and spy. Where what? So now we'll just go and find out his location. Are you guys with me? So you respond, are you with me? Alright, please, Bajide, come out. Let me use it as an example so they will get what I'm trying to say properly. Look up. So to me, the servant of the king of Syria. So this king of Syria had to ask him, who is telling us everything? He said, Elisha. He said, now go to where Elisha is. Go to Israel. Go and spy. For you to be a spy, it means there's a tendency you hid yourself or you're actually disguised. Are you getting my point? So this guy disguised in that context came to Israel. And it was told him saying, behold, he is in where? Respond to me now. He's in where now? So now somebody must have told that spy that the man you're looking for is actually in Dothan. Are you with me? Dothan was where the brothers of Jacob and the brothers of Joseph sold Joseph into slavery. Are you with me? So it was in that location Elisha was dwelling. So the servant came and said, sir, we've done all our facts right. We've checked everything. The man of God that you are seeking for is actually in Dothan. Glory to Jesus. So based on that information, the next verse was written. Please give me verse 14. Last verse 14, please. Therefore sent he thither what?